hand-clapping, feet-stomping, song-singing fans in the St. Louis Arena saw their Blues dominate the NHL's West Division.
The Blues became the best of the original 6 expansion teams, largely because of a young whiz, Scotty Bowman. As coach and GM, he was instrumental in bringing Bob Plager to St. Louis. He went on to become the winningest coach in hockey history. He is tonight's Cardinal Buick Sunday Conversation.
Bob was quite the prankster. What was the story with he and Ray Fortin and the false teeth?
Well, you know, we didn't have long road trips, but it was probably at least 4 or 5 days, maybe going on. I think we were going to the West Coast. Ray was a young rookie, and Bob snuck into the, I don't know how he did it, but he took his false teeth, both upper and lower, and he took them, and you know what happened is he carried them all the way and sent them back to St. Louis. And Ray, the poor guy, he couldn't find his teeth. Nobody had admitted to where it was. And he took them, and Bob mailed them back to the St. Louis Arena, care of the secretary. And I say the trip must have lasted at least 6 days. Poor Ray Fortin. I mean, I was really upset. That's probably the toughest I ever got it with Bob.
He also lit your newspaper on fire. Is that true?
Well, I mean, he had all the tricks. I mean, he had the ketchup on the shoes. If you're at a dinner, he'd sneak under the table. Yeah, I mean, I think it was one day we were on the plane. We had to go commercial, and I don't know how he did it. He snuck in, and you know, they put the paper right near your shoes and right on the middle of an airplane. And you know, but at least there was people around enough that could smell the smoke. No harm, no foul. I was always after him about his conditioning. I just remember one day I called him in, and I gave him whatever the number was, 180, or he was 183 or something. And I said, Bob, I'm not interested in statistics, except I am interested in one, and I think it's 180. And I think that's what it was. And he said, what do you mean? I said, your weight. I said, we have these weigh-ins, and I said, I'm gonna get somebody to come. But I said, worse than that, I said, Bob, the next time you go over the limit, I said, I think I'll send you somewhere else, and it won't be Kansas City. We had music in the dressing room, and he knew I think it was the trainer that looked after it, and he would play the music. If I was upset, he would come in, and I didn't know what he was doing. And he played the music, Kansas City, here we come. And some of the guys would get nervous, but I found out later he was the disc jockey that did it.
You made it possible for Bob to enjoy one of the greatest nights of his life when you trotted out all 3 Plager brothers in Montreal.
It was a hockey night in Canada game that went across Canada every Saturday, and Montreal or Toronto would be where the home game was. And we didn't do as well in Montreal. They were a stacked team anyway. So I said, okay, Bob, you're on left wing, Barkley, you're at center, and Billy, you're on right wing. And they looked at me and they said, you're kidding? I said, no, and don't get a goal against us in the first shift.
If someone were to ask you who Bob Plager was, what would you say?
Well, he was the ultimate team guy and the ultimate prankster. But when the games were on, he was so competitive. As a player, he was a good leader, you know. I mean, he was younger than some of them, but, you know, he mixed right in. We had a very veteran team, but I never considered him to be that young a player, even though he was only in his early 20s when he joined the Blues. But he was the ultimate team player, and he was right to the time they won the Stanley Cup. And that was just the icing on the cake and for Bob, because, you know, it was tough going into the finals 3 years, but we were outdistanced in talent, but not in desire.
But St. Louis Blues were too much for Kelly's Penguins in the semifinal series, beating them 4-2 as they advanced to the Stanley Cup final.